Peace, y'all. This is Empress Coach Rena Nicole, and this is the AM Inspiration Show to wake the ass up. The one, the only, original and authentic AM Inspiration Show. Focusing on waking that ass up spiritually, mentally, emotionally, financially, spiritually, metaphysically, soulfully, and consciously. Most important. With that being said, the topic today is how to let go of things in the past. Keep in mind that we are streaming live from YouTube, StreamYard, Clubhouse. If you are in those Clubhouse streets and you happen to come across this room, make sure you hit that greenhouse at the top. Also, follow the link at the top, the Spotify link. If you want to join us on StreamYard, where we're streaming live from all networks as well, hit that link in the chat and come right on, join us. Now, if you want to come on stage, keep it one and 1.5 minutes because we are streaming live. Also, for our Spooncast users, which is another drop-in audio app, hit that phone icon so I can bring you on up and you can share your experience of how you let go of things in the past. With that being said, we are also streaming live from Facebook, Twitter, and Anchor. Now, let's get right into it. Give y'all a little 20 seconds of this chill vibe, and then we're going to jump right into the topic. Peace, y'all. All right, so peace, y'all. I'm back. Dun, dun, dun. Like I never left. Yeah, so it is what, Thursday? It's Thursday because it's almost Friday, right? Period. So it is Thursday, October the 13th. Dun, dun, dun. And the topic today is a really great one. It's how to let go of things from the past. A lot of times people are too focused on things from the past, which leads to a lot of things like depression and a lot of other things we're going to get into. Now, with that being said, remember this one thing, right? Because when you're holding on to the past, it can be like a conscious decision, just like letting go of the past and moving forward is also a conscious decision. Keep that in mind, okay? As we go along now. The one thing that connects us, like the interconnectivity that we experience as humans on this plane, is that we have an ability to feel pain. We have that ability to feel pain. Um, that's our connectivity, that pain. I'm not going to use certain words because I feel like people overuse them. Now, whether it's the physical pain, emotional pain, the mental pain, spiritual pain, we all have that common experience of being hurt, right? And the different thing that separates us is actually how we decide to address it, how we process it, how we actually deal with it. Okay. So when you have things like emotional pain, okay, that prevents you from healing from a situation, it's a sign that you're not propelling forward. You're not moving forward off of that thing that hurt you. Okay. And it's not a way, like you might be living your life and moving, you think you're moving forward and you think you're glowing up or whatever you think, but you're definitely in a stagnated point because you're not growing um in a particular way, especially emotionally, right? So the best thing that we probably can accept or receive from a lesson is to learn it, right? Because what do you mean, Empress? To learn, yes, when you learn a lesson, it keeps you from repeating it, right? The situation comes to mind when something else familiar arrives in your existence that hurt you before, and you remember, oh, this is how I dealt with the last way, you know, um, and now that I feel it or I see it ahead of time, that I can deal with this differently, and I could get a different result. Where I'm not hurt in the end, or where I'm processing differently in a more healed way, right? So that's what helps you to center a growth mindset and propel you with more momentum to actually be a solutionary or a person who likes to heal yourself. Okay. It takes a lot of work anyway, so I don't think it's just going to happen overnight. But if you don't have that mindset when something else comes up, that's like you feel it intuitively, like you're going to be hurt, then you become stagnated, and you start with the I shoulda, I coulda, I woulda, and all these other scenarios because you're in pain again. You're in pain again, and you start getting hit with memories, and it's like trauma, and that PTSD thing. That's really not a good place to be in. But so many times, a lot of us we put ourselves through that, because we're not able to move past what happened to us. We're not able to process it in healthy ways that we feel okay. You know, yeah. So just keep that in mind. So let's go over a few things that can help you to move different in a way that you're letting go of the past. Okay. Now, of course, decluttering the mind. Decluttering the mind is definitely decluttering the mind is definitely a thing you want to do, because when you don't declutter your mind, you're stuck with these thoughts that are self-effacing, and even memories as well that are not really good. And no one's saying not to remember, but we're just saying don't dwell on the memories. Don't have them in the front of your life and everything you do, because you're literally going to block yourself from receiving, and you're just never going to get past a certain point in life because you're still going to be held back by those thoughts and those emotions and stuff like that. And it's like that lack of emotional intelligence. You might be experiencing that when you're not allowing yourself to have get rid of those thoughts that don't belong to you, right? So, because I'm not into that whole toxic positivity thing where it's like, oh, be positive. A lot of people say that because they're not good with criticism. So they always say just be positive, be high vibrational. They don't want to hear anything that's going to make them be accountable, and they don't want to they don't like that. They don't like criticism as well. So if you're just always agreeing with them, then they're going to love you. You're always telling them that they're right, they're going to love you. And just imagine if you go through things, right? And your mind is cluttered because you weren't able to dispose of these thoughts and the pain that comes along with them, and now your heart is cluttered and convoluted, and your emotions and your body, now you're sick. It's like a real slippery slope there. So creating positive mantras can help you, like actually wearing a rubber band on your wrist and just popping yourself when you're having those thoughts or memories that don't no longer serve you. Those things help as well. So keep that in mind when you're thinking about how to move forward and actually counter those memories and thoughts that you have that are not serving you. Jesus Christ. I'm sorry, y'all. Woo. Okay, I'm back. Now, another thing that you can do, because a lot of people, for some reason, they stay around things that make them upset. They invite them, like they accept invitations to parties where they know they don't want to attend. It's something my stepdad used to say. He used to say that he used to tell me as a child to not allow people to rent space in my head because it's not free. Like he said, rent is money. That's like currency. So what I took it was like he was basically telling me don't waste my emotional currency on people that don't even, have my best interest at heart. So one of the best things you could do for yourself is remove yourself. Why would you want to be around a person or a situation that's making you upset? I don't care who it is. You have every right to remove yourself from that situation until you calm down, or until you want to talk about, or just if it's that bad, just forever. And that's your decision as a human. You have that right to make those decisions. Um, Especially when it's something that's not serving you. Reevaluate. Take as much time as you need away from the situation, person, place, or thing, whatever. Just do that. And when you come up to excuse me, when you come up to that point in your mind that you figured out what you want to do, then do that. You don't need no one's permission to do it. You don't have to think about it too hard. You don't have to hyper focus on it. Take your time, write things down if you want to. That's a smart idea because then you can remember um, pros and cons. Even just take your time and recognize that you can definitely distance yourself from anything that's not serving you. I don't care if people's feelings are hurt. I don't care if they cry, because at the end of the day, without you, then who? Dun, dun, dun. Period. Period. Without you, then who? Like, I mean, we're going back into that same conversation, because if you say, like, if you are a person, and say for instance you're taking care of other people, and one day you get sick, right? And people are still calling on you, and you still decide to go and help people, and then you just go out one day and you just pass out, or you just get, you get injured really badly, or something happens to you because you didn't decide, you didn't choose yourself. So keep that in mind, though, when you choose to keep on inviting people into your environment definitely is your body, your spirit, your aura. When you keep on showing up in places you're not welcome, um that's something that I need y'all to remember, because that's one of my things. Like, I no longer show up in places that make me uncomfortable. I no longer support people that are not supportive to me. I no longer show up in places that make me, have anxiety, because at the end of the day, none of those things make me feel good about myself. So why do I have to keep on allowing access to me from people, places, and things that don't matter? Period. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. You know, a lot of times people are going to tell you that when you focus on yourself, you're being arrogant, it's narcissistic, it's this and it's that, it's this and it's this and it's this and it's that, right? But you have to make those conscious decisions for yourself, because when you are doing that shadow work, or you're like, if you don't want to call it shadow work, okay, we'll call it work. You're doing the work that you need to heal trauma or heal experiences that you've been through. You have to really sit down with yourself. You have to think about what happened. It's going to bring you some pain. It's going to cause you some drama, but you don't have to dwell on it. That's why I said, like, writing things down. If you feel like you need a therapist and somebody else to help you, going to therapy, um, having friends and stuff like that. Doing not so much like on the friends though, but keep that in mind. But going to therapy and different things of that nature, and if you want to do coaching, if you want to do other things like that, then do those things, okay? Because when you're not doing the work, you're not going to get any results. It's going to be the same thing. It's going to repeat itself, and it's not going to serve you. It's not going to actually propel you into anything good for yourself. So keep that in mind, okay? I'm just saying, because when you hyper focus on something, that's all you're going to receive. Like, a lot of people say, "Oh, I don't have no luck in life. I don't have this. I don't have that," because they hyper focus on everything they don't have, and they're not in that gratefulness mindset. Because that's the next step. The next tip is to practice mindfulness, and gratefulness mindset is a part of mindfulness. Like, if you want to go back to the link above, in like an hour or two, and you're going to click the mindset rooms that we did the last 2 days, and you'll come across some things that's really interesting that goes along with this topic as well. So, um, the more you can bring focus to the present moment, because the issue is a lot of people live too far in the past, and I believe that causes depression. And a lot of other people, they hyper focus on the future, and it causes major anxiety, right? And when you're present, it allows you to stop and be still. It's like the saying that the elders used to say, "Peace, be still, child." That's one of my favorite things. And it's so beautiful, because it reminds you to stop what you're doing and just allow, just receive, just process, just go through to get to, just grow through to get to. Period. Okay. So keep that in mind, because when you're practicing showing up as who you are and being mindful and being intentional, you know, um, the pain that you're going through, it doesn't have that much control anymore. You're not waking up operating your everyday life off of pain. You're not focusing on that pain. And not to bring up social media again, but a lot of the times, like, my experiences on here, even myself, sometimes I get caught up in the madness sometimes, and I realize, like, hey, I don't even really feel hurt about these things. Why am I still talking about them? So, I have to sit down with myself sometimes. Like, I'll listen to recordings and things, or like, if it's no recording, I'll just remember, like, hey, next time I talk to these people, I'm not going to talk about that anymore, because I don't feel anything about it, and there's no point for me to keep on revisiting things that I have no attachments to. if that makes any sense at all. Okay. So that's another tip that you can use when you're on social media. If you're, oversharing or you're sharing or things happen to you. And what's the point of sharing things you have no attachment to? If it's not hurting you anymore, why keep on reliving it? Why keep talking about it? Why do you want to experience it over and over? These are the questions that you can ask yourself, that I ask myself, that a lot of professionals make you ask yourself. So don't worry, there's some great questions, and it's not going to be like an overnight thing where you have to answer them, but try to answer them. Really try to reflect and answer them, because it's only going to help you. Now, I know that mindfulness is the core of the human experience, just being mindful and intentional. Something we were talking about. I think a lot of hurt, not even I think, let me go backwards. Hurt comes from a place of misunderstanding, other people's pain. I don't like that saying hurt people, because I feel like that's a justification for people to hurt other people. So we're not gonna go there with that quote today, but I'm aware of that quote, and like I said, I have a little problems with that quote, but it's all good. So what I'm trying to say is that a lot of times that the pain that we may experience is not forever. And some things, maybe like some grief that we experience, we feel like it's going to be forever. We're never going to get over it. And we just might not be able to get over it. But guess what? We learn how to cope. We learn how to move forward. We learn how to process better, and we learn how to deal with our emotions so we don't get sick. Okay. So we're not lashing out. So we're not closing ourselves down and isolating ourselves. We learn different skill sets so we can still be thrive in a human experience. Right. Okay. Period. Dun, dun, dun. Um, now, the best thing I could ever, talk to you guys about is self talk. A lot of people don't have positive self talk or high vibrational self talk at all, and they're always seeking other people to give that to them so they can feel like they're doing something right. When indeed, nobody can make you listen. Nobody can make you feel inferior without your consent. Can I say it one more time? Nobody in this whole entire world can make you feel inferior without your own consent. Period. So if you're not being gentle with yourself and you are around people that do not question that, and they're okay with you lowering yourself in front of them, they're okay with you playing being second best or third best or fourth best, and they're not okay with you being like on the same level with them, or just watching you destroy yourself, then you got a lot of questions to ask yourself. Because like I said before, without you, then who? How did you get there? How did you get around these people? How did you get in this environment? Why are you talking about yourself this way? Why are you not believing yourself more? What happened? And like I said, this is not an overnight thing. This is a process. And the issue that we have with society is instant gratification. So people want to quick fix everything. They want to put some fucking cement glue on everything and think that they are going to be fixed tomorrow. They want to hire life coaches and then call them scammers when they are not doing the work to actually heal themselves or get the results that they desire. It's just a whole laundry list of things that we can go on why people don't do the work. Self-talk is definitely the top tier of shadow work, because there's no way that you can do shadow work when you're healed and you're still talking down to yourself. You still are insecure. You still don't believe in yourself. Um, you're still not confident in yourself. Okay. So my whole thing is like people are like, oh, I want to master chi. No, I want to master me. Period. I'm gonna tell you three things. Your biggest enemy is yourself. Your biggest critic is yourself. You should be better than yourself. And it's really that simple. Like really, because hurt is definitely inevitable. I remember someone told me that. I'm like, I'm never getting in a relationship again because I don't want to feel hurt. Yes, me, I said that. Somebody was like, what are you even talking about? So you don't want to live anymore? You don't want to love anymore? You don't want to experience life anymore? That's what you're saying? But at that point, I was so down and I was so low from all the loss I was experiencing. And it just seemed like a pattern of loss. Things just kept happening. And I was just done with life. I just didn't care anymore. And I was just a mess. And that person said that to me. And I reflected on it for a few weeks, and I'm like, listen, I woke up one day and I was like, you know what? The same way I woke up years and years ago, and I'm like, I'm not gonna. I decided something. You want to know what I decided? I decided that day that I was not going to die like this because I was literally killing my own self and killing my own spirit and shrinking myself so low to the point of nothing to nothing, over some hurt that I just needed to process. So instead of processing the hurt, I was literally treating myself badly because someone else decided to treat me badly. You know? Now that's messed up. That's messed up. You treat yourself badly because somebody else decided to treat you bad. Instead of processing what they did to you so you can get over it and move forward. That's bad. So I try to avoid the pain, like I think a lot of people try to avoid the pain. They try to fill the void. And all of that made me realize that it was time for me to do something for myself even more. And I did it. It was like a very liberating experience. And I shared a little tiny snippet with y'all because a lot of times people are not honest with themselves. They're not honest that, hey, it's me causing me these problems. Hey, I'm not a victim. I'm a victim of circumstances that I'm creating right now. And I'm not saying people are not victims because it definitely is National Domestic Violence Month, and I'm definitely aware of all the victims and things that happen to them. I am a survivor, so I don't like to walk around, and say that those things about anyone. But I just want to make you aware that a lot of people, when it comes to hurt and pain, after the things happen, it's time for you to change it. Nobody else can do it except for you, and that's all I'm trying to say. It's up to you how you recover. Like some addicts, they never make it to recovery. They pass away, unfortunately. They never get there. They never get to that point of not being an addict anymore. And I'm like, why are you saying that, Nicole? Because a lot of people, they get addicted to pain, and they're addicted to trauma, and they're addicted to abuse, and they're addicted to dysfunction, and they never ever get past that in life. So they're always going through something. Something's always wrong. It's always an issue. Um, and things of that nature are always happening to them because they're not able to move past their feelings and emotions, their grudges, their anger, and their hurt. Okay? They're not able to actually move past those things. So they have a sad, sad life. No matter how no matter how happy they may want you to think they, you know, are. So just keep that in mind. Especially if you're one of those people that try to, what's it called? Keep up with the Joneses or follow everybody else and just compete. Keep that in mind that you don't know what's going on behind closed doors. So just do you and live your best life, period. Something that we definitely need to talk about here. And honestly, I've never heard anyone talk about that except for me. Maybe my therapist or maybe a therapist that I don't know. But something that I've been talking about for years is that you have to allow the negative emotions to flow because that's how you're able to process. And like I just shared my experience with y'all, even though I know that information, when you're going through grief, when you're going through hurt, you don't see it that way. You don't see it that way. You have to take someone, like sometimes people have to say something to you and you realize like, damn, I'm doing this to myself. That hurt already happened, and I'm reliving this trauma all the time as a way of fear. Like it's fear that's in my mind, that's convoluted in my mind, and I'm not able to process because of fear. And even when I like get past the fear, you have that. Not, I'm not saying me. I'm just saying in general. Like you have that point where it's either like process it, grow through it, just so you can get to it, whatever that is. It like success, career, whatever, family, liberation, whatever it looks like to you, and you just stop because you're like, you know what would my life be without this trauma? It's okay to experience negative emotions. It's definitely not okay to dwell on them. So just because you're sad, everybody doesn't need to know you're sad every time that you're sad. Everybody doesn't need you to share every waking moment of sadness. You don't need to beat yourself up for feeling bad. You don't need to beat yourself up for feeling angry. The thing you need to be cautious of is what you're going to do with the anger, what you're going to do with the hurt while you're letting it process. That's the part where it gets a little tricky. So some things you can do is you can just try to breathe through your nose and take them deep inhalations in, like now that's deep breathing through your nose and pushing out through your mouth. It's like a meditative breath, right? Or you can breathe like me, it's through your nose. Now I might sound a little quirky because I breathe through my nose all the time, but it's a very health conscious thing to do. And it also helps you to regulate, especially when you're feeling a little anxious or stressed out, or upset. Breathing through the nose, because when you're not breathing through the nose and you're starting to feel like process these negative things, you're going to be hunched over. Your stomach's going to hurt. A lot of different things are going to be coming to you at once, and that simple breathing can help minimize a lot of the symptoms while you're actually allowing these things to process. Okay, so it's no point in trying to shut feelings out. It's no point in just like pretending they don't exist. And like I said before, it may require more help, like a therapist, psychotherapy, a psychiatrist, even meds for some people. But just recognize that when you're feeling different and you're feeling not right, or you're feeling something that's not okay, to seek help. Nobody's judging you. Nobody's going to make fun of you or laugh at you. And guess what? If they do, they are not meant to be in your life anyway. Don't allow that to stop you. I want you to heal. I want you to love. I want you to thrive. And allowing those feelings to process, it's going to help you in the long run. Now, the next one is really difficult to talk about, because I know a lot of humans that have a lot of issues with that. Accept an apology that you will never receive is the next one. Accepting the apology that you will never receive. Okay? Hey, be nice. So when you are waiting for an apology, guess what? It can slow your healing process down. And also, it can make you bring somebody back around that you don't really want to be around. It's almost like you're just waiting for them to treat you nice again. And you're waiting for them to apologize for what they did to you. And you keep allowing them access to you because for some reason you think they're going to apologize. You think they're going to say sorry for hurting you. And it's never going to come. But guess what? There's a solution. Dun, dun, dun. Guess what? You can apologize to yourself. You can buy yourself roses and teddy bears and cards. And listen, if you like, I don't want to spend all that money, go to the Dollar Tree then. Go to Dollar Tree, go to Instacart and just pick out some things for yourself. Spend like $50 and buy yourself some body cream or something organic and some nice cut flowers and a teddy bear and some chocolates. And just write "I'm sorry" on it when it comes, and then put it down there on your table. And after you eat dinner, open this stuff up and enjoy yourself. Okay, now you got your apology. We have to learn how to transmute energy into something else that works for us. Period. We're going to have another whole entire podcast on transmutation of energy, but that's not going to be this one right now. Okay. So, with that being said, um, the one of the most important things you can do for yourself when you're letting go of pain and trauma, is be around people that fill up your cup, that make you feel wholesome, that make you feel loved, that make you feel appreciated. That the feelings are mutual, that they want you around, that you don't feel like a burden just because you're there, that you don't feel like you're irritating people just because you showed up. Stop going in places that make you feel like that. And of course, it may be some things you're dealing with yourself that's internal and they really don't feel that way. So also, before you think those things, reevaluate to see if it's you just feeling that way. Do you always feel that way about everybody, about everywhere you go, about every group of friends, about work friends, about neighbors? Then guess what, baby? Unfortunately, it's probably you. And you need to do some reevaluation on what you can do to make yourself feel better. Okay? Because there's a lot of people waiting just to love you. You were created in a divine timing, energy, and space. So if you're out there and you're listening and you feel like no one loves you, I love you. And there's many more people waiting to love you and waiting to fill up your cup and to allow you to know how important and special you are, right? Because I know sometimes we feel like people don't say it enough, but I'm saying it to you. Okay. And also, I apologize for anything that ever happened to you. That's an apology for people that are, going through grief or just suffrage and they just don't know what to do anymore. You know, um, Now I'm about to head out of this thing, but I do want to give y'all some quick information because it is National Domestic Violence Awareness Month this month. So I just want to give y'all some resources really quickly. And I want to check out Spoon really quick to see if anybody there. Hey y'all, hi. Welcome y'all. Okay. Let me go look at StreamYard. Dun, dun, dun. Hi, hey. Thank you. I see y'all on Facebook. Thank y'all so much. Make sure y'all continue to send them hearts and share the live. Thank y'all so much for being here. And Clubhouse. Yeah, so I want to share some information because it is National Domestic Violence Month. And I don't normally do that, but I definitely know that I'm a survivor. So I just want to put it out there that there are resources if you're suffering, because it's 1 out of 8 men and 4 out of 8 women that suffer from domestic violence every single day in the United States of America. So that's really bad. Okay. So with that being said, give me a second. I'm pulling everything up. This was a really great show today. I hope that you gathered some information. I hope that you guys liked it. And I hope that it helped you to elevate yourself. I know I'm speaking a little bit calm, and because it's very, very serious, and I know I'm a little hyper sometimes, but I wanted y'all to, understand that all the messages are important, and I will try my best to speak slower so everybody can understand what's going on. Now, the information that I need to give y'all is the hotline.org is the hotline.org. Okay, that's for domestic violence support and the National Domestic Violence Center. They have a chat as well. And if you need to get help, that's 1-800-799-7233. Okay, someone wants to come up on here. Well, I don't know. Okay, so that's 1-800-799-7233. With that being said, thank y'all so much. This was the AM Inspiration Show to wake that ass up. I am your host, Empress Coach Rena Nicole of RenaNicole.com, Divine Intervention Show and Podcast, The Love Experiences, and the Curve.net. With that being said, we stream live every day, 7 days a week, 365 at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Come through, share with a friend, and don't forget to go check us out on Spotify and Anchor, where you can actually download episodes, you can save them, you can support the channel by clicking follow, like, subscribe, all those things. And guess what, guys? It's free. It's free 99. Period. Peace, y'all. I'll talk to y'all tomorrow.